Bradman, what did you see when you really heard those passes popping last Sunday night with the Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals?
What the Radman and Mighty Oba and J-GILLZ saw witnessed last Sunday night was the same thing we witnessed at the stadium back in February in that snowstorm in Buffalo, New York. A team that's physical, a team likes to get that, like the hit, and the Bills was taking it. The Bills' defensive front line came out and played. They gave up 24 points. Hey, you playing against a very good offensive team. That's not a lot of points. The Bills, with the offense that the Bills are capable of, the Bills' offense seems to be the problem. No rhythm, no continuity. They've been like sleepwalking in the offense for the last 4 or 5 weeks. That's why they lost to New England. That's why you had close games against Tampa Bay and the New York Giants as well. And then you turn around and see these teams. The Giants get blown out the next week. You see Tampa Bay getting blown out, having trouble in their games, in these games. The Bills just got to score points. Their offense got to get it together. The defense is playing well. I thought the physicality of the defensive front, Ed Oliver, Tim Settle, even the new guy, Linval Joseph, who just showed up this week, who the Bills signed, he played very well. Number 93, he stuffed the middle. The Bills were stopping the running game. Joe Mixon and those guys had trouble. When Joe Mixon did get through the line, he just completely ran over Terrell Bernard. That's why my biggest complaint. I like Terrell Bernard, nice cat, but man, he got cleat marks of Joe Mixon all over his chest right now. He's still trying to get him, and a concussion. He probably won't even play this Monday because he got completely run over. Joe Mixon, I was surprised when we got a chance to interview him after the game, how small he is, how small he looked. But on TV in the game, he runs very hard, very physical, fanatic. And like I said, he just ran Terrell Bernard right over, man. And that was probably part of the right. Terrell Bernard ended up with a concussion. This was a game where we needed Tremaine Edmonds. You missed that physicality from Tremaine Edmonds, and you miss him on the back end covering tight ends with that long reach, being able to knock the ball away and make some plays on the passing play. You know, people say, hey, he didn't make a lot of tackles, but Terrell Edmonds made a big difference in the Bill defense as well. And he's another key component that's missing from this season, Fanatic.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. And it's interesting to see how those losses in particular games over a season really show up, but in particular, a physical game like it was today, or like it was last Sunday. Now, looking at it forward, to me, I don't think that same issue of Tremaine Edmonds not being on the Bills, I don't think that's going to be as big of a loss when you see a team like the Denver Broncos who's trying to be physical and trying to find themselves, but also then really more of a finesse team and letting Russ cook, and you get some cold porridge when you let Russ cook and the Denver Broncos on Monday night. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's just styles make fights, and man, the Bills, I can tell they don't want any part of the Cincinnati Bengals. Welcome to the show, our man J-GILLZ. You know, the sports director. We all know him. We love him. Sports director for 105.5 The Beat, Zeal Talk Upstate at gmail.com, and definitely Zeal Talk Upstate on IG, man, with a unique intersection of religion and sports. Check it out. Really unique. What up, J-GILLZ? What up, my brother?
I've been talking to a lot of the mafia. When I say mafia, I'm talking about Bills mafia. And the age-old question that's going on right now, is it Ken Dorsey in the play calling, or is it the personnel and the players on the field? And that's really the gist of where Bills fans' minds are at right now. And in my opinion, it is the players on the field. Obviously, Ken Dorsey isn't an elite play caller. Some people call his offense very vanilla, it's very plain, very simple. You know, he's not a Mike McDaniel or Andy Reid. Heck, not even probably
Eric Bieniemy.
You know what I mean? This is a creative mind. But when I look at the Bills players on the field, to me, they just don't have the personnel right now. And to me, that's really the biggest problem.
Before we go with the Monday night, let's go to hear Tim Settle.
Look like you took him down properly.
Look, I've been in the league 6 years. This is my third penalty. I don't get flags. I know how to play the game. You know, I feel like I was cautious. Referees thought otherwise, but that's something I got to go look in, or it's something I got to understand a little better to understand a better reasoning of why I was called for what I was called for. But at the end of the day, you got to play the next play.
Did you say what it was? He
didn't
mention it to you?
No, one of my teammates said that it was because his head hit the ground or something. But, I mean, at that point, I was swinging my own body. So, I mean, I can't control gravity and velocity and stuff like that. But It's just something that I grow from.
You guys have seen you really come off the ball well tonight.
Yeah.
Was it something the offensive?
This-
You had some good
we just been-
film work this past week.
I mean, that was a preach, you know. Yeah, we just wanted to. That's what we're doing. We're coming off the ball. We trying to initiate stuff, and you know that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep coming. Let's progress from each week from here on out.
Next week, Monday Night Football, and then you get another extra day off.
We get back ready, then get ready to do what we just did. You know, play comprehensive football and just execute at a high level as a team.
Yes, indeed. And that was a bad call, J-GILLZ. He came in and grabbed put his arm over the shoulder pad and slung Joe Burrow to the ground face first. Unfortunately, Joe Burrow's head hit the surface, hit the ground. I mean, that was a football play. What do you think of that call, J-GILLZ?
To me, honestly, Rabin, we talk about the calls of the game. This whole season has been horrific when it comes to the referees and the play calling. On that play specifically, I can't say I'm surprised because throughout this whole season, every game, the referees have dropped the ball. So I'm not surprised at all. But that is very great information that you gathered from Tim Settle. 6 years, only his third play call, third flag in 6 years. So that should tell you something right there. The referees and the officiating is horrendous. Something needs to change.
Yeah, that was a bad call, and I thought the Bills' defense, like I said, the game looked like the Bills were just being destroyed overall, but the defense really played a good game. The offense played a few good series, but not enough to overcome. They shouldn't have came down to Dalton Kincaid having that fumble. The Bills should have been moving the ball earlier in that game. If they have to go to no-huddle offense the entire game, go to no-huddle offense the entire game. But
that's where a lot of the success came. When they ran that no-huddle.
You're absolutely right. It did happen at that time. But let's see how our teams attack the Buffalo Bills. We're going to go to Irv Smith Jr., Cincinnati Bengals tight end who caught a touchdown pass in that game. Let's hear how the Bengals plan to attack the Buffalo Bills defense.
I see they featured you early, got you into the offense early tonight. Was that something they saw in film that they worked the two tight ends, you and the other tight end here both seemed to really get started early tonight?
Yes, sir. You feel like, we had good matchups against our safeties and linebackers, and we could exploit them in a lot of different ways. And, our coaches did a great job calling the plays and getting us active out there and being able to make opportunities and great plays.
Did size also weigh in on it too? Because you guys seem a lot bigger than the Bills linebackers.
Yeah, definitely their linebackers. We feel like it's something that we could attack this week, and I feel like we did a great job of that.
Back when you were drafted, I had you coming to Buffalo. I had you penciled in with the Bills. Did the Bills talk to you during that draft?
Yeah, they did. Yep. Coach Dayball, he was with Buffalo, and he was my offensive coordinator when I was at Bama my sophomore year. So I talked to them throughout that draft process and stuff. But
did you get the feeling they might pick you, or that you might?
It was a lot of teams that were interested and stuff. So I didn't really know. I didn't even know I was gonna get drafted to Minnesota. It kind of happened. But it was a blessing to be there 4 years, and now I'm happy to be here.
What is it about coming out of Alabama? Great Ozzie Newsome. You have some really good tight ends come out of Alabama. What is it about their training that gets you prepared for the NFL?
Yes, sir. Going against the best at practice every day. It definitely, Coach Saban, he's breeding the best talent out there, and going against those guys. Going against first rounders every day at practice makes the games easy. And so just having that confidence to be able to, go out there and go against the top guys, it helps you in the long run for sure.
That was Irv Smith Jr., tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals. He should have been a Buffalo Bill, guys. The Bills had him on the clock. The Bills ended up trading up to pick Cody Ford. You didn't have to trade up. You could have picked this guy at you. That's what I mean. Brandon Beane always trading up and getting rid of draft capital when he could just stay in his spot and pick a quality athlete. This guy, I don't know what Brandon Beane does in the first 2 or 3 rounds. He just can't seem to get it right with these guys in the early round.
Not only did Dawson Knox get drafted by the Buffalo Bills, but then they paid him, right? They paid him.
Come on.
Right. Screwed up the whole cap space. And now you got a guy like Dalton Kincaid, 10 catches a game. He's the only bright spot on this Bills offense outside of Stephon Diggs, and he's just getting action? Come on, man. And now Bills fans are clamoring for Dawson Knox to get back so they can start running that 12 personnel. I said, that's not going to get it done with Dawson Knox, man. It's not going to get it done.